Meanwhile, Mayor Eric Adams is rolling out a money-saving program. He claims it's money-saving to help migrants. Adams' debit card program for migrants will reportedly give migrants up to $10,000 each in taxpayer money with no ID check, no restrictions, and no fraud control. So we're just going to keep piling money at these people after they illegally broke into the country and broke the law as their number one thing in America, Krisha.
They're not legal. If they were legal, they need to pay taxes.
What do you think is going to happen with the migrant crisis here in New York City?
It's getting bad because they're also next to my house and they piss on my door. I could tell that they're gang lords. I mean, they're tattooed up to head to toe. The people pissing on my door, they're tattooed up head to toe. And there's no law against illegal migrants committing crimes. So again, it's lawlessness, non-payment of taxes, siphoning all our money to their native countries, and it's just killing our economy. Eric Adams just said he's going to give 4,000 migrants jobs. That means 4,000 civilians have less jobs. It's just not fair to Americans. It's getting scary. Right now, people in the Bronx are getting attacked. People Upper East Side, 2 of them just got attacked. And it's illegal to buy mace. It's illegal to protect yourself.
All right, guys. So once again, we got to talk about the illegal immigration crisis in New York City because Mayor Eric Adams is facing calls for an investigation into his food stamps for illegals program. Now, this program, also known as like the debit card program for illegals, because the illegals apparently don't like American food. They don't like the food that taxpayers paid for to, feed them, even though they don't pay into the system. Okay, we're doing things for them that we don't even do for our own homeless population. They don't appreciate it, right? They say, you know what? We don't want to eat this. It don't taste like the food that we ate at home, right? So they're just refusing to eat the food, and they're throwing a lot of it away. And because of that, Eric Adams thought it was a good idea to say, you know what? Screw, paying somebody to make the food and then to feed the migrants. We're just going to give them debit cards, okay? We're going to give them debit cards through a so-called black-owned, minority-owned finance company. And that is going to be a more efficient way of actually feeding the migrants, okay? And a lot of people are pissed off by this because essentially it is just food stamps for illegals, okay? They're going to get this debit card where they're going to load thousands of dollars of taxpayer dollars on the debit card, and illegals are going to be able to use it to buy food. Now, there are no fraud checks, no ID checks, okay? Nothing to really check and to make sure that they're not taking advantage of this. Obviously, clearly, it will be abused and taken advantage of, okay? But it seems to me that this is just an attempt for Eric Adams to help his friends get rich with taxpayer funds using the migrant crisis, which is exactly what's happening, okay? That is why a lot of these Democrat mayors, like, for example, Brandon Johnson, they're begging for more money from the federal government because there are a lot of, again, their friends getting rich off of this, okay? This is why they're diverting so much money to taking care of the illegals, because people are getting paid, okay? Special interests are getting paid, okay, based off this migrant crisis. And I think that's what's happening here in New York with this food stamp program for illegal immigrants. And one New York City council person is calling for an investigation into this. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Tonight about a controversial program launched by the Adams administration to give migrant families prepaid debit cards to buy food and other things they need.
CBS 2's political reporter Marsha Kramer is here to sort it all out. Marsha.
Well, Dick and Dana, Mayor Adams says giving asylum seekers debit cards to buy their own food will save the city millions. But the head of the city council's Oversight and Investigations Committee wants to know why the city issued a $53 million no-bid contract without seeing if it could get a better deal.
Because he's giving away deals to his friends. That's why, right? No bid. So essentially what they're saying here is that Eric Adams just gave away this deal to some company that he picked, and he didn't actually really have competition, okay? He just picked some company and gave it to him. Well, why did he pick the company? Well, it's because, obviously, special interest. He's trying to use taxpayer dollars to get his friends, his brothers, right? His brothers paid, okay? This is what he's trying to do.
I think you should bid it out to see who would do the best job at the best cost for taxpayers.
Councilmember Gail Brewer says she wants to investigate a pilot program launched by Mayor Adams to give asylum seekers prepaid debit cards that will allow them to buy food, baby products, and other necessities at supermarkets, bodegas, groceries, and convenience stores. The $53 million contract reviewed by CBS 2 gives the firm Mobility Capital Finance lots of fees for services, including a $125,000 one-time setup fee, $250,000 in annual management fees, and fees based on how much money is distributed to migrants, $1.5 million for the first $50 million handed out, $2.5 million for the next $100 million.
Yeah, so you guys see the incentive structure here? Okay, so the more money that the illegals get, the more money that this company makes. You don't think that this is a conflict of interest, right? You don't think that this is going to essentially incentivize the money powers that be that are getting paid from this crisis to then turn around and donate to politicians that are going to continue to keep the money flowing in, right? I mean, this is clear and obvious corruption here, okay? There was no bid. There was no competition. There's no merit to this. There was no effort to actually make this as low cost as possible. Okay. Because Eric Adams claims that that's the point. The point was to try to make it low cost and more efficient for the city. But you would think that if that was the purpose, that they would actually have a real competition to see which company can do it at the lower cost and provide the best service. Okay. But, you know, this is what we have here. What we have here, again, is overt corruption right in your face. And the crazy thing about what's going on in New York City and also in these cities like Chicago is that you're already seeing crime get out of control. You're starting to see the consequences of having these illegals come into this country en masse. In fact, I got a message. I had a Venezuelan woman who slid in my DMs, so to speak, right? And she gave me a very, very, very stark warning about the people that we're allowing into the country. She, in fact, told me that, hey, back in Venezuela and Caracas, that city was extremely dangerous. Okay. I mean, you had people getting killed in the street over their phones. These gangs were essentially running the country and running the city. However, these gangs have moved out of Venezuela and they've went to countries like Chile and the United States. And that these gangs are extremely dangerous. They will not hesitate to kill over a phone or whatever type of valuable item that you are carrying that they want. And you're already starting to see this happen in the United States. You're already starting to see the result of letting a bunch of people into the United States. She told me, she was like, Democrats have no clue who they're letting into the United States. They're letting gangs into the United States. All these single military age men, a decent amount of them could possibly be dangerous Venezuelan gang members, right? This is what she told me, okay? She was very, very, very adamant about it, and I believe her. I really do.
The pilot program will involve 500 families staying in short-term hotels like the Row and the Watson. According to the contract, the most a card can have is $10,000, but most cards will be refilled every 4 weeks. A family of 4 can get about $1,000, $35 a day, and they can buy whatever food they want to eat.
I don't know exactly how it's going to work. In other words, I do say from the release that it would be for diapers and baby products and food, but you have to be careful that that's what it's actually going to be for.
Mayor Adams insists it's an innovative way to save money and prevent food waste because many asylum seekers don't eat the food they were given in the hotels and shelters. He said if the pilot program is successful,
it is going to save us in the area of $7.2 million a year. I believe $600,000 a month.
Were there other people that could have provided the same service for less money? Are you getting the best bang for your buck?
Without a doubt.
The mayor insisted that part of the allure of the company is that it was a minority-owned firm.
MWBs, women and minority-owned businesses have historically been locked out. So I know I'm disrupting what people traditionally would like for us to do.
Wow. What does that mean? What does that mean? What people would traditionally like us to do. What does that mean? What we would like you really to do is to deport the illegals. Now, I understand as, mayor of New York, it's probably beyond your control. That's the job of the federal government. But, hey, you could help ICE, right, deport the illegals. You could help the federal government do their job. But currently we have a federal government that doesn't want to do their job. So, hey, maybe it's a wash. But I'm just saying, I'm not sure if this is what the American people want. I'm not sure if the American people want to be spending taxpayer dollars to provide services to illegals that we don't even provide to our own citizens, okay? And you're trying to excuse it by saying, well, I'm giving money to a black-owned business, right? I'm giving to a black-owned business. Joy Reid tried to make that argument. She tried to make that argument that black people should support this because Eric Adams is funneling taxpayer money to a black-owned business. Well, I don't give a damn if it's a blue-owned business, right, or a green-owned business. I don't care who owned the business, okay? This is not something that we should be doing. But again, this is what they do. This is what Democrats try to do. They try to sell you poison with woke rapping, right? That's what they do. That's what they do, because that's what this is. Oh, well, it's a black-owned business. You don't understand. You should be okay with helping black-owned businesses, right? So that's where you should get on board with providing food stamps, your taxpayer dollars, paying for, illegals to eat whatever they want because they don't like our food. They're too uppity for our food. Again, this is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous.
Now, the mayor, who has a penchant for surrounding himself with friends and acquaintances, insisted he had no personal relationship with the owner of the company.
Bullshit.
He said, and I quote, "We don't hang out in the Hamptons together or go to baseball games together." And that's what he had to say.
All right, Marcia, thanks very much.
Yeah, so those statements might be true, but that doesn't mean he doesn't hang out with the guy. He doesn't have a personal relationship with him, that there's some type of corruption not going on here. It's definitely some corruption going on, okay? But again, this is Eric Adams. He is corrupt, okay? All of these Democrats are corrupt that are running these big liberal cities. In fact, I would say that it is a qualification for you to actually get in a position of power in one of these big liberal cities. You have to be corrupt, okay? You have to be corrupt like this, and that's what we're seeing here from Eric Adams. This comes as New York is about to make another round of budget cuts in order to take care of the illegals. So again, that's what's happening here. Imagine cutting public services to take care of illegals and then turn around and trying to justify it by saying, well, we're helping out black-owned businesses, right? This is what they do, man. It's absolutely insane. But, hey, it is what it is. This is what they voted for. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.